everybody, this is Renee Millman. Welcome to the Go Within channel where I help people find their own answers within themselves. I love this process. Thank you for joining me on today's life coaching topic. Find your why. Do you know why you do certain things, or why you have certain habits, or why you have certain behaviors, compulsions, or addictions? Do you really know the root answer, the root cause or reason for those behaviors? And why should we care? So that's what we're going to be talking about on today's episode. I find answering the question why to be so fascinating and interesting, but then again, I kind of like to analyze. You might have noticed. That's why I do this work. I am always asking the question, why? Because I love to learn and I love to understand and dig and get to the bottom of something. It's part of my kind of Scorpio side. Anyway, so there's a couple things going on here. Sometimes we don't have consciousness of our behavior. We just tend to do something without even realizing it, or we overdo it on something, but we really don't know why until maybe someone comes along and says, hey, do you know why you have this tendency, or why do you do that? And I have asked some of my own clients this, and the answer that I usually get is, no, I don't know. Well, my job is to help you find that answer. Now, I just want to differentiate between why and what. So I can remember times when I've been in job interviews where they ask me some sort of question and I really don't know the answer, and I'm thinking, okay, think fast, and I rattle off some answer, when actually what I've done is told them what, but I never really answered why, which is what they were asking. If you were to say, Renee, why do you work out a lot? And I might say, well, I like to work out. I enjoy it. It's something I do almost every day. I do weightlifting, and I cycle, and I like to take walks, or whatever the answer. What I've just told you is what I do, but I didn't really tell you why I like doing those things. I didn't tell you, how does it make me feel? What does it do for me? And that's where the answer is going to lie. So if you have some behavior, especially ones that you want to eradicate, finding that why will allow you to get to the bottom. And once you identify your why, game over. It's up. The gig is up. And really what I mean is maybe over, or maybe just completely changed, because when we identify our motivation, then we have consciousness. Light bulbs go on, and then we say, oh, I get it now. I see. It makes so much sense. Kind of like that. So how do you find your why? Well, I have two general suggestions. The first is simply to sit in a quiet space and just let yourself be. Sit with that question and that issue and see what comes up. Don't think, don't analyze it, but just see what comes up in your intuition. And while you're doing that, allow yourself to breathe and breathe deeply and focus on your breathing. And you may say, yeah, well, that's not gonna do much, but actually it will, I think, because so many times our lives are so busy and so full of things to do and places to go and busyness that we don't spend much time just being still, most of us. So I encourage you, find 5-10 minutes, go out in nature somewhere, where it's safe and quiet, or just sit in your living room, wherever you have some time and space, and just see what comes up. Not to sit there and think, but just to sit and be with that question. Okay, the second thing is to kind of follow a trail of questions. So the first thing is, you might say, well, why do I have a tendency to, say, whether it's to drink or smoke or go shopping or whatever whenever I'm stressed out and upset? Or why do I want to eat when I'm under a lot of stress and feel anxious? Answer that question to yourself the best you can, and then kind of sit with that and see what else comes up. Then ask yourself some more questions. And I'll take the example of eating to deal with stress, because it's very, very common. How does it feel when I eat? How does that make me feel? And then find the answer to that. Then a follow-up question. If I was to not allow myself to eat when I am in a state of high anxiety and stress, what would come up? What is eating food doing for me? And if I remove that coping mechanism, what feelings might just go shooting through the roof with intensity? And right, the answer to that is your answer. So whatever that answer is for you. Because any coping mechanism that we are putting in place to deal with our feelings is a cover-up. Is a cover-up for our why, for our true motivation, and for really keeping us from healing that thing. And that's where we need to go. That's the cool thing about it. So those are my 2 recommendations. Be still and sit and see what comes up. And then to kind of ask yourself a trail of probing questions. And the ones that I offered are just some, not all, certainly. All right, so I hope that helps, and please let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will like, share, subscribe, and help spread the word. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.